Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
What an honor it is to be back here at Cabaret with Grammy Award winner, Country Music Hall of Famer Ray Stevens. Ray, now the rumor is that this is the last year, 2024, that you'll be performing in the Cabaret.
Well, the rumor is true up to a point. Let me change that a little bit. This is the last year that I will be doing a scheduled performance.
Exactly.
For the whole year, but I still will, come back and do a show every now and then.
So you're not retiring on us?
No, I'm just not doing a set schedule for a whole year.
Right. Here.
I'm going to go out on the road a little bit and play some other cities and come back here though
right.
quite often if I can,
Well, and it seems like, especially Ray, with your incredible career, I mean, multi-million sales with The Streak, also with the song Everything Is Beautiful. You've had so many hit songs, Tarzan, one of my personal favorites. But it's like you've got so many hit songs, and with your catalog, with your albums, and you're still producing new music all the time in your studio here.
Well, I love to do that. I've been hooked on recordings ever since I was 17 years old. And so I love to get in the studio and try to be creative.
Well, speaking of creative, you and I were walking around Cabaret here in West Nashville, and every time I come in, Ray, I'm struck by the photographs that you chose and how you're keeping the history alive with Cabaret. And how did you come up with this incredible venue concept? Because it's nothing like what you had in Branson back in the 90s, which was a hit. I mean, you sold out consistently.
Yeah, Branson was a whole different ball game because that Branson was a different type town from Nashville.
Right.
People flocked there from all over to see shows. They wanted to be entertained, and so I had a 2,000-seat theater there. But here, this only seats 700, and it's more like a Vegas casino club, and I, as a matter of fact, used some of the places I used to work in Vegas as for ideas to design this place. So
it feels like a Vegas room to me, to where it's very high end, and when I've come and I've seen your show here, and I've always enjoyed it, and the food is incredible too. But really, the show, it's that kind of multi-musical show to where there's something for everyone when they come and see you live.
Well, that's good to hear. You heard that, folks. Come see me.
But I mean, how do you find the best musicians, the best singers and everything to work with, Ray, to bring into Cabaret?
Well, I've just been doing this a long time, and over the years I've met some great folks, and they've agreed to work with me, so I'm pretty lucky.
I'd say they're lucky to work with you also. And also, like we were talking about too, just like walking around the room with Owen Bradley. I think that so many people that come to Nashville now, particularly younger people, and as Music Row has changed, and you were such an integral part of Music Row, but they don't know the history of these people that built the studios, the producers, and I love the many faces of Ray Stevens that are around the room from your early years, coming out of Georgia to what you've accomplished here, continuing today.
Well, a lot of people wonder why Nashville became Music City, USA. And there's a simple answer for that. And that answer is because the studios were here. And where are you going to come to make a record? A town where there are recording studios.
Right.
And Nashville was one of the first places to have those studios to cater to artists from all over the country. And, the Grand Ole Opry was here, of course.
Right.
And a lot of artists came to be on the Grand Ole Opry. And while they were in town, they could make a record because Owen Bradley built a studio and RCA built a studio and put Chet in charge of it. So those two guys really sort of were the reason, to me anyway, that Nashville became Music City.
I totally agree with you. And what's amazing too, and I know you won't talk about it, so I will, but spanning over a 60-year career, Ray, starting out as a teenager back in Georgia, You know, it's just amazing what you've accomplished with all of your hit songs, with your videos, with your shows, you know, with everything you've done, and still, you know, in your 80s, young 80s, still doing, you know, regular shows here at Cabaret. How do you keep the energy going?
It's hard. I eat a lot of hot dogs and, you know, drink a lot of Pepsi. You know, you gotta stay in shape.
And you've also got new songs you're even going to be rolling out this year, right?
Well, yeah, I've been in the studio for quite some time now and sort of built up a backlog, you might say, of recordings that we plan to go on a rampage and release in a series of probably 2-week intervals and create a sort of a place where people who want to can go on the internet and see a new Ray Stevens song every couple of weeks.
Well, you know what amazes me too, Ray, is that not only an incredible entertainer, you know, so many Hall of Fames. I was kidding before we started the interviews. It's like you're in every Hall of Fame I think available right now, including Songwriters Hall of Fame, Georgia Hall of Fame. I can go on and on. But, you know, when you do these songs, Ray, not only do you write them, but also you're playing all the instruments and you're tracking all the vocals.
Oh, well, not every time, but a lot of the time I do sing all the parts and play a lot of instruments. But, you know, that's because I'm too cheap to hire somebody. I don't want to pay that union scale to somebody else, you know.
Well, you know, with your incredible studio here and everything also, and with your songwriting, and I know you've worked with so many artists over the years, do you think now you might start to work with some other artists and help them as well, Ray?
Oh, sure. As a matter of fact, I've already started that. There's a piano player in the piano bar here at the Cabaret. His name is John Janethis, and he plays and sings in the piano bar, and he wrote a song that I just think is fantastic, and we went in the studio and recorded him doing it.
Wow.
And we shot a video here the other night of, I think it was Valentine's night, of in the piano bar of him singing that song. And it'll be out soon. Also, I have 3 great background singers, 3 ladies, and one of them is named Donna McManus, and she sings so well as a solo singer that I went in the studio with her and we cut some sides with her. So we'll be coming out with those soon. And then my daughter Susie writes and sings, and I'm going to get in the studio and work with her in the near future and get her, you know, some product that we can see if people like.
Yeah.
And
she might be able to join you on stage.
Well, she might be, yeah.
Especially when you're out touring some everything. You know, I've got to bring this up, you know, and you can tell me the truth on this, Ray. It was rumored that, you know, back in the day, the heyday of Music Row, which we all love, that you and Chet Atkins had a little competition going on. Who could buy the most properties on Music Row?
No, not really. It wasn't competition. We joined forces and bought a lot of properties together. So I co-owned a lot of properties with Chet, and he always used to call me the Beaver because I would take an old house and kind of work on it and get it, fix all the things that were wrong with it, and cosmetically mostly, and then we'd rent them out to people. And so we had about, I don't know how many we had, but several.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun.
Well, I know, especially as close as you and Chet were, as with so many of the big names here, it's that, you know, it was friendly. It wasn't competition. It was just friendly and, you know, having fun with each other.
Right. Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it. I think Chet did too.
Well, and it's such an incredible establishment that you have here, Ray. You know, not only for the Cabaret, for people to come and see, you know, you and your great band perform, but you've got the nice lounge out front. There's plenty of parking. You've got your studio office. You got everything. Do you have like a bed here? Do you like sleep here if you need to?
Well, I probably could, but I haven't done that yet. I have a shower back in my dressing room. I could, you know, rinse off a little bit.
Yeah.
But you mentioned parking. This place is unique in that aspect because we can park 300 cars here.
Wow.
And, you know, if you go downtown, good luck.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, I solved that problem. I painted FedEx on the side of my car. And now I can park in the middle of the road, you know.
That is so smart.
If you don't need to compete with FedEx, you can print Amazon on your car,
Right.
or UPS, and you can park anywhere.
Well, and I've noticed also when I've been driving home out here that sometimes you have entire tour buses pull up here. So
Yeah.
it's like, are you just, like bussing in people just coming in by the droves, right?
Well, sometimes we get buses, and they hopefully enjoy the show.
I'm sure they do. That's why you're going to have to go on the road and go to them some.
Well, a little bit, yeah.
Well, I want to make sure too, Ray, for certainly everything you've got going with the music and with Cabaret here in West Nashville, for the website and everything else, do they just go to Cabaret so they can get their tickets and come see the show live?
The website is RayStevensCabaretNashville.com.
And then also when people come here to the Cabaret, they can admire all of your awards. Because I noticed those. You even got, a Chet Atkins Country Gentleman up in the front.
I do, and it's priceless. It's
Yeah.
one of those Gretsch guitar, the mahogany Gretsch guitar, and it's
Just beautiful.
great guitar. Yeah.
Right. And a few pianos so that you can play when you want to also, right?
Oh yeah, we have more pianos than I need. But what the heck,
You're a musician. You always need one more instrument.
that's right.
And I think you're going to have to make a bigger cabinet up there for more awards.
Well, we can do that.
Yeah. Because when they come in, where are you going to put them?
I know.
You can't keep them in the shower.
It's a big problem.
Well, I'll tell you what, be sure to come out to Cabaret. Go online, get your tickets early. Go ahead and do the dinner also. I'll tell you what, the food is so incredible here, but mainly Ray Stevens and the great band. You want to come see him this year while he's still doing so many nights in a row because, you may not get that chance again and you don't want to miss it. Right, Ray?
Absolutely.
Cabaret, Ray Stevens, thank you so much for coming on the show again.
Thank you.
Pleasure,
See you
Ray.
soon, folks.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.